Have you ever wondered, what is the true nature of reality? Beyond our daily experiences, beyond the objects we see, the thoughts we think, and even the emotions we feel, what lies at the heart of it all? Is there an ultimate truth, a supreme reality? According to the ancient wisdom of the Yoga Vasistha, there is, and it is far closer than you might imagine. In fact, it is the very essence of you, pure consciousness. This wisdom, passed down through generations, offers a profound understanding of the self and the universe. Today we will explore this profound teaching, delving into the heart of the Yoga Vasistha's message and uncovering a path to experience the ultimate reality, step by step. Let this journey be one of self-discovery, a gentle unfolding of the truth that resides within each of us. Inquiry into the seer and the seen. In every experience you've ever had, whether it's seeing a flower, hearing a song, or feeling an emotion, there are always two components. There is the one who perceives, the seer, which we call consciousness. This is the aspect of you that is aware, that experiences, that knows. And then there is the seen, the object of perception. This encompasses everything that the seer experiences: thoughts, emotions, sensations, and the physical world around us. The seen is the content of our awareness, the multitude of forms that dance before our inner eye. Now here's the key insight. The seen is inert. It has no life or reality of its own. It exists only as it is perceived by the seer. For example, when you see a cup, the cup exists for you only because it's being perceived by your consciousness. If you close your eyes, the cup disappears from your experience. Does the cup then cease to exist? The Yoga Vasistha invites us to consider, when we detach the seer from the seen, when we withdraw the mind from the objects it observes, what remains? When we shift our attention from the world outside to the world within, we begin to notice the silent observer, the witness to all that arises in our field of perception. What remains is pure awareness. This awareness is not something you observe, it is the one who observes. It is the silent backdrop of all experience, unchanging and ever-present. It is the essence of you, the true self, that transcends the limitations of the perceived world. This understanding is the first step towards realizing the ultimate reality, the recognition that you are not merely the collection of your experiences, but the conscious awareness that perceives them. Analysis of the three states of consciousness. The Yoga Vasistha encourages us to look deeper into our own experience to understand the nature of reality. One way to do this is by examining the three states of consciousness: waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. These states, though distinct in their expression, offer profound insights into the nature of the self. The waking state is where we spend most of our lives, interacting with the external world through our senses. It's the realm of action, perception, and thought, where our attention is drawn outward. We perceive ourselves as separate individuals navigating a world of objects and events. Then we have the dream state. In dreams, we enter an inner world created by the subconscious mind. The laws of physics often don't apply. Time bends and distorts, and we encounter fantastical images and scenarios. Yet, within the dream, it feels real. Finally, we experience deep sleep. In this state, the mind is still, and there is no awareness of the external world or even of dreams. There is a sense of blissful oblivion, a complete absence of experience as we normally understand it. Think about it. What do all three states have in common? In the waking state, you experience the external world. In dreams, you experience an internal world conjured by your mind. In deep sleep, there is no world at all, yet you still exist. Something remains unchanging across all these states. That something is consciousness itself. It is the background against which all experiences of waking, dreaming, or sleeping take place. It is the silent witness that observes the play of these states without itself being modified. Just as the screen in a cinema remains unaffected by the movies projected upon it, consciousness remains unchanged by the different states of experience. It is constant, eternal, and unlimited by time, space, or form. The Yoga Vasistha reminds us that by recognizing the unchanging nature of consciousness in the midst of these ever-shifting states, we begin to glimpse the true nature of reality, The waking world with all its allure and distractions is no more real than the dream world we inhabit at night. Both are simply projections of consciousness. Let's take a moment to further explore the nature of reality through the lens of the Yoga Vasistha. Consider an object, any object, that you perceive in the world around you, say, a clay pot. On the surface, it looks real. You can touch it, hold it, and use it. It seems solid, tangible, separate from you. But if you analyze it more deeply, you see that the pot is just clay in a particular shape. The pot itself isn't a separate, independent entity. It's just an appearance, a temporary manifestation of the clay. The form is transient, but the essence, the clay, remains. Dig deeper, and you'll realize the clay itself is composed of something more fundamental: molecules. And molecules are made up of atoms. Atoms, as we now know, are not solid particles, but rather bundles of energy in constant motion. And what, ultimately, is energy? The Yoga Vasistha, along with modern physics, points to consciousness as the underlying ground of all existence. It is the animating force, the vibrancy that gives rise to all forms, all phenomena. This leads us back to the insight of the Yoga Vasistha. The external world, with all its objects and experiences, appears real only because the mind perceives it as such. Its true nature, its fundamental essence, arises from consciousness. Just as a movie is nothing but light projected onto a screen, the world we perceive is a projection of consciousness, a play of forms and appearances on the screen of awareness. The Yoga Vasistha teaches us that by understanding the impermanent nature of objects and experiences, we can begin to disengage from the illusion of a separate self, bound by the limitations of the material world. This is not to say that the world is an illusion in the sense that it doesn't exist. Rather, it is an illusion in the sense that its true nature is different from how we ordinarily perceive it. When we cling to the idea of a solid, unchanging reality, we create suffering for ourselves. We become attached to things that are inherently impermanent, leading to disappointment, frustration, and fear. By recognizing the world as a manifestation of consciousness, we can begin to relate to it with more wisdom and compassion. The Yoga Vasistha offers us a powerful technique for directly experiencing the ultimate reality introspective analysis of experience. This practice invites us to turn our attention inward, to become intimately acquainted with the nature of our own minds. Instead of focusing primarily on the external world, the endless stream of thoughts, emotions, sensations, and perceptions, this technique guides us to shift our focus to the source of these experiences. Begin by bringing your attention to your breath. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your abdomen, the coolness of the air as you inhale, the warmth as you exhale. As you become more aware of your breath, thoughts will inevitably arise. Don't judge them or try to push them away. Simply observe them with a sense of detachment and curiosity. Notice how they arise, linger for a while, and then dissolve back into the space of awareness. Recognize that every thought arises and disappears within the same space, your mind. Your mind is like the sky, and your thoughts are like clouds passing through it. The sky itself is always present, even when obscured by clouds. But the mind, the Yoga Vasistha tells us, is only a tool. It is a powerful instrument that allows us to navigate the world, but it is not who we truly are. Step behind the mind, behind the thoughts, and you'll find something more fundamental: awareness itself. This awareness is not something that you think or perceive. It is the one who thinks and perceives. This is the final step, to rest in that awareness, to simply be present with the silent witness within. This is not a state of blankness or emptiness. It is a state of pure being, of being fully present in the moment, without the interference of the thinking mind. Initially, you may only be able to access this state of pure awareness for brief moments at a time. To summarize, the Yoga Vasistha offers us a map to the ultimate truth. It tells us that the world we know is an appearance, a mirage created by the mind. When we withdraw our focus from the illusions of the external world and rest in pure consciousness, we realize our true nature. So, what are the steps on this journey to self-realization? First, inquire into the seer and the seen. Recognize that the observer, consciousness, is your true self, the silent witness of all experience. Second, analyze the transient nature of all experiences and objects, discovering the eternal awareness that underlies them all. Finally, detach from the limitations of the mind, introspect deeply, and rest in the pure being that you are.